Nonetheless, all the bottles were well chilled by the time the first guests came through the door, and Dawn had uncorked the first of them. Mpo was visibly nervous when she and her husband arrived. She had never been a guest in the home of a white person before. It was midsummer in the southern hemisphere, and we had tables and chairs outside. Dawn ushered her to one and asked her if she would like a glass of champagne. She said she had heard of champagne but never tasted it. She wasn't sure if she would like it. It sounded strange. But because everyone else was drinking it, she bravely agreed to try just a little. Dawn poured about half a glass and smiled. "It may tickle your nose, but don't worry," he said. "If you don't like it, we have other stuff." Looking puzzled and wary, Mpo very cautiously lifted the glass to her mouth, barely wetting her lips. And then a small, surprised smile appeared, quickly growing into a gorgeous grin. There was a glow in her eyes and a look of pure wonder on her face. With that look of discovery and delight still on her face, she shyly asked, "Could I have a little more, please?" Rarely has champagne given us more pleasure than it did then, for in that brief moment, champagne did what it has done millions of times before and since. It broke down barriers, set the stage, and started the celebration. Most importantly, it brought people together. History is replete with such champagne moments, including a famous one that never happened. Dom Perignon, the father of champagne, who codified the rules of good winemaking in the 17th century, did not, as the story goes, accidentally invent champagne and exclaim, "I have tasted the stars." That comment was the creation of marketing moguls, and a brilliant one as well, for it embodies the feeling and spirit so many people have experienced upon their first taste of champagne. Many of those moments have been associated with romance, both its beginning and its end. "You were my cup of tea," some departing lovers said, "but I drink champagne now." Honoré de Balzac viewed it from a different angle. "Great love affairs start with champagne and end with tisane." Betty Davis, who knew a thing or two about romance, realized, "There comes a time in every woman's life when the only thing that helps is a glass of champagne." Casanova certainly agreed. He considered it essential equipment for seduction. Weddings, baptisms, the launching of ships, spraying crowds at car rallies, ringing in the new year. Champagne is linked to so many things, but not all of them are happy occasions. On June 22, 1911, for example, British explorer Robert Falcon Scott and his team sat down in their base camp in Antarctica to celebrate Midwinter Day, the midpoint of the long winter night. They were on their way to the South Pole, hoping to be the first people there. Dinner featured seal soup, roast beef, plum pudding, minced pies, fish, fruits, nuts, chocolates, and, as Scott said, an unstinted supply of champagne. The champagne was Champagne Charles Heidsieck. "We drank to the success of the mission and woke up with a few bad heads in the morning," Scott said. He and 4 companions arrived at the South Pole on January 17, 1912, only to discover that they had been beaten by a Norwegian team led by Roald Amundsen. They perished in the sub-zero cold as they tried to make it back to their base camp. Champagne has also been linked to war. In World War II, Prime Minister Winston Churchill admonished his commanders, "Remember, gentlemen, it's not just France we're fighting for, it's champagne." Foreseeing the conflict to come, Paul Claudel, a French diplomat and poet, consoled fellow government officials, "Gentlemen, in the little moment that remains to us between the crisis and the catastrophe, we may as well drink a glass of champagne." Even Napoleon Bonaparte, for whom war was a regular occurrence, famously opined about champagne, "In victory you deserve it, in defeat you need it." That this universal symbol of friendship and celebration is so closely associated with war is not really surprising. The region itself has been drenched with more blood than perhaps any other place on Earth. Throughout the centuries, nearly every European conflict